Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's special presentation of Digi-Talk. This is Digi-Talk, Floriani Digi-Talk number 3 with me, Trevor Conquergood. And today I have my kid with me here, Loren Conquergood.
Hello.
A.K.A. Leo. If you're going to university, you probably know them as Leo. And welcome to Sunset Stitches, everybody. You are entering the home of our house here in sunny Saskatoon. This is our studio where we do our embroidery. And so Sunset Stitches is actually in the basement of my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And normally it's just me down here. And normally I have Nick with me in the house, but Nicholas unfortunately is under the weather today. Seems to be something going around, and we're all just like hoping it stays in his room and doesn't just come to ours. Anyway, so he's not down here today with us. So just me and Loren running the show. Anyway, hi Robin. How's it going today? On the road, where are you going? So nice to see you, Joyce, coming in from Mesa. I sure love visiting Mesa for a number of reasons. Mainly, I could say one of my best friends from high school lives there, and in that area. And so anytime I get to visit, because I have been to visit, Mall Queen Sewing has a wonderful store there. And then I go visit Scotty. Remember Uncle Scott?
Yes. Yeah.
I go to visit Uncle Scott. So good morning. Beth is coming in from Florence, Arizona. So nice to have you today. Robin said she's in Arizona, by the way, also. So welcome, you guys. Cindy says you look like your dad. We've heard that before. Thanks, Cindy. So nice. Anyway, Joyce is like, Mall Queens is my place to go. Yeah, I've been there and really love that family. You've never met them, Loren, I don't think, but there's 3 brothers and they're all giants, like literally 6'5". Like they all look like they belong in the NBA. But there's actually the mom and the dad, and then all the grandchildren. It's kind of fun to go there because there's 3 generations. Like in one house.
Yeah.
Okay. So Digi-Talk is a special presentation that I do every week, and I've got my kid Loren with me this week as a special guest. Loren is going to do a thread sketch, right?
Yes.
What are you sketching?
Pansies. I'm
Pansies.
sketching some pansies.
All right. So it's flowers from Loren. I'm going to share my screen first, Loren.
Yep.
I just wanted to update you guys a little bit. Basically, today is Loren, May the 1st. We're going to watch Loren digitize cool little sort of floral sketches like this. But I wanted to say, if you're not a member of my FTC workshop number 4, that there is a special price that you can get, $99.97. You just use the code Trevor99. But the cool thing about workshop 4 is that's how you can get all the Digi-Talk designs, right? Because every week I'm making new designs for Digi-Talk. And this week you're going to get the latest Winnie the Pooh design. Isn't that cute? New little Winnie the Pooh design. And I'm still working on the 100-acre wood. So I thought I'd show you guys the 100-acre wood because I'm working on that. Yeah. So I also wanted to just quickly remind you guys that there is a design challenge. So if you're in workshop 4, we have been working on spirograph, and that's what I was making last week. The Ren was spirograph. That was fun. Yeah, and then the workshop 2 members retreat is about shading and blending. And so this starts tomorrow, you guys. Tomorrow is the first class. Then May 9th and May 16th, shading and blending. I mean, these are some of the test designs when you talk about learning about different ways to blend thread and shade thread. So these are kind of some of the interesting these are stitch outs from the past. I'm not showing you guys the new stuff. You have to come to class to see. But these are all studies in stitch length and density. You got to really get your stitch length and density. We don't quite fit. Anyhow, so I wanted to show you guys quickly. These are the designs from the past weeks. Week 1, and then week 2, we did spirograph. And those were the past weeks. So then this is this week's design. So when you download Digi-Talk number 3, you will get the cute little Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh one. And you'll also get some more spiral graph. I've been having so much fun doing spiral graph embroidery, you guys. And these are some exceptionally fun ones to do. So yeah, that's my pictures. Yeah, so I'm going to stop sharing that. But I was working on, this is what I was working on last week, Loren, was the 100-acre wood.
Yes.
And I'm trying to decide where I left off here. Let me just take this back. And I remember I have to turn on the, there's a setting.
Marker.
Yeah, the last stitch marker. You're right. There. So now I know where I left off, right? So basically, the picture is not very clear, is it? Like when you get going and you want to digitize. Now I'm like, what is this that I'm digitizing? I think it's like literally supposed to be somebody's footsteps. And so I'm just kind of like jingling back and forth a little bit to make it not be just a straight line over there. In other words, I'm making this stuff up, right? Like, who knows what it really was, but I'll stop and see. It just gives a little bit more, it looks a little bit like a sketchy line. I don't know if it's going to be highly successful, but the goal here is to, capture the picture that I didn't make it. Mr. Shepherd drew this one, right? From the Winnie the Pooh book. But when his lines aren't very clear, you can only go so much, and you got to interpret it. I think that's the real thing when you're an embroidery digitizer like Lorraine and I are. You got to interpret what you're making. And so I know that wasn't very big, but let me make it bigger here. So see, that's why I don't have Nick here to be my eyes sometimes to tell me if I'm going off. But so here I've got to look at it, like how big, if I click here and then I pull it to there, see how my little white tool tip tells me how long it is. So, that's 2 millimeters. Okay, well, that's fine. That's like a regular stitch length, right? I can go, there's Bunny's ears, right? Let's just click up and down a couple times. Make sure that we can see them. And then let's go around Bunny's head. But I don't want to zoom in and go, this is round and put in like clicks every 1/3 of a millimeter. They're really small. And so what I normally do, and I'll just kind of backspace to get rid of all those points, is watch my thing. And when I pull it out, if I don't go at least one, I'll go, can I go a straight line and make it look good? And then a straight line and make it look good. And then here, this is where maybe having my kid, can you help me figure out, like, what is that? Is there the arm? Okay, you take it. She just took the mouse from me. Loren is taking over. But
has to be 1 millimeter.
Well, no, it can be 1.2 or 1.3. I mean, it can be smaller than 1, but they don't. The problem is it's not really far enough to move the machine for the needle to hit a new hole. That's what happens when people make really small. Oh, look at you. That's exactly what it is. It's their hands, right? I was like, I knew it was. I think that looks pretty good. Mm-hmm. And what's, now we're at the bottom. Like you're trying to do, what is this? Would be Kanga, right? This is,
no,
it's Rabbit's house. I think it was Rabbit. Yeah, Rabbit. That's Rabbit, right? Trevor, come on. Anyhow, so it's nice to see you guys today. And I'm going to check in with the comments and, Loren, just let go. Thank you. Give it back here. I'll go and just kind of like, because eventually you kind of just have to wing it and go, like this is something that's really small. Now, I don't think going around once will be enough. And is that line, like, should we be drawn, like, does it go around like this? It goes around. It doesn't go through. It's like around. Yeah. Okay. Got it. And I'm not sure here, like,
I don't know.
I just interpret it. I think it's fine, Honestly, we're looking at it right now, Loren, 3,000, not 300, 3,000%. That is not necessary or even suggested. I would say keeping it to more like this, which is 700, 700. If it looks small at 600%, it is small. Mm-hmm. Anything that's too small to see at 600% is too small to bother digitizing. And so you can kind of see now. I need to think about this for a minute before I'll have to shut up and work, is what I'm saying, because I want to make the hole. That's like a hill and there's a hole in there, and so it needs a little bit of an interpretation to make it look good. But I've been working on this design now for a couple of weeks, and I think I'll try. I was hoping to get it done before this week, but there's quite a bit to this one, so I might work on it again tomorrow, is what I'm saying, or before next week. If I get a chance to get this one done before next week, I'll do that, and then you guys can get this one next week, and we'll move on, because I've been doing the Winnie the Poohs, but I think we'll continue to do Winnie the Pooh, but I want to move on to different styles of embroidery. And so Loren and I Loren today is going to do a little bit of sketch style. But I also think there's a lot of interesting styles. And so I want to make time, and over the weeks, however many weeks we do this Digi-Talk class, I'll do different things. So I know people said do logos. I mean, you guys can make a suggestion right now if you want to. Be like, Trevor, we hope you do the blah blah blah, and then I'll see if I can work that into my plan. I don't like the way I went. I'm going backwards there. I'm just kind of finishing. I think I'm just going to go back down the hole, all the way back down the road here. Because this like this, I could kind of come. I don't want to sew under the word rabbit's house. Like, so maybe what I'll do is walk back down the road and then get this part, coming from here. Does that kind of make sense? So just because I've stitched something does not mean I can't just walk right down that road and get back to where I came from, and that's the cool thing about doing this style of embroidery is wherever there's a line, then I guess there's a pathway that you can follow. So I think that's the way that I want to take. Yeah. So now I'm kind of running down the edge of the stream from getting to the around the 100-acre wood, Loren. Okay. I'm not going to do a bunch of this one today because I'm really interested in the pansies that Loren has put together. And so how long is there? Yeah, I've stolen like almost 15 minutes of your time already doing this stuff. But just know that this is what I like to do, and I'm doing it. We're doing the opposites here, hey Loren, because you're gonna use the sketch. Like, they're both sketch style embroidery. That's, I think, where people get confused, because what I'm doing right now is kind of a thread sketch or whatever, or it's, I'm digitizing, but I'm going click, 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 click. And that's kind of how I like to do it. But, here, I got to hit, enter, click, select. I left that thing going, zoom. Okay, there. My screen took off when I flipped like that there. But let's come back on screen for a sec. Hey, kiddo. So yeah, this is in your download this week, and so is this one. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the you'll go if you're a member. If you're not a member, then I guess don't worry about it. You can't get the designs you can watch, and that's wonderful. But if you join for our workshop 4, you get the or Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club. If you're a member of season 2, which Loren and I work really hard on, Trevor and Friends Embroidery Club.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show them. No, I don't have it here. I was going to say some of your birds, but maybe while you're sketching, I'll get them. I'll get up and go find some. So I thought I'd check in and say who's here today. So, hey, Candy's here. Hi, Candy. How's it going? No Nick today, Candy. He's got that Norwalk virus. What's it called? I don't know. Stay away, Nick. We don't want it. We're all
stomach flu.
When there's 6 of us that live in the house. So when somebody gets sick, everybody's like, you stay in your space.
Yeah, you stay in your room.
We don't want it. Hi, Connie, visiting from Ohio today. I can't wait to show all of the challenge designs next week, you guys, in the Spirograph challenge. I've been certainly having fun doing my challenge pieces. And I know that everybody's sending in some amazing ones to show you guys. So yeah, this was so fun, Loren. I got this from a member. This is my prescription, right? If you want to learn how to use your Floriani, you got to commit 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes,
every day. Yeah. But not forever, but I mean, if you want to be a master, maybe forever, but if you just want to get past the basics and really master so that you can use it comfortably and you understand what you're doing, you want to do this for like a month, 2-3 weeks minimum, every day. But that has to be playtime, not I'm sorry, I'm putting it in front of your face. That needs to be playtime, not I'm working on my Christmas presents. Nothing that could have any stress attached to it, you guys. The whole point is to try the buttons and go, oh, that's what that does. Delete. I don't know. You don't have to stitch out everything you make. It's okay to try things. So we love that when you do. Hey, it's Jean. Hi, it's nice to see you today, Jean. When do you need the designs? Okay, so if you're going to be included in the challenge showcase, Monday would be your absolute latest. Like Monday morning would be nice. By the way, my email was full last night. So if anybody tried to email me yesterday, I got notice this morning and I was like, why does this happen to me? But I think I finally found the answer to that. I was like, there's got to be another way that I don't have to manually do it. So I went in and spent some time and found the stupid, reset my mail when you pick it up kind of thing button, right? Isn't there a button for that? I was like, can't you? My mailbox gets full around because these guys send me big whopping pictures. Like you get on your iPhone and you send 5 photos, that could be 20 megabytes kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That adds up when everybody sends in their pictures for my challenges is all I'm saying. Pictures. So yeah. Donna said she's been doing it and now I play daily for hours. That's awesome, Donna. It's nice to hear from you guys and nice to see you. So it's like going back to school. Right on. Okay, I'm going to get, what I'm going to do is I am going to remove my computer and then add Leo's computer to the store or to the stage, right? So Leo and I will still be here. Hey, Kim. So I'm going to put that off. Sorry. But I am going to make us substantially smaller. Does that work? We're kind of right on top of your color palette. Will that be lame? Okay. No. I'll watch you work and see if we're in the way, I'll just take us right out of the picture, but.
Well, Trevor uses his mouse to click, click, click. No. And I use a little pen stylus. Now a little bit bigger. A pen stylus.
Oh, yeah.
On a touchscreen computer. And that's how I do my digitizing. Most of it, I can do click, click, click. I can make circles and stuff.
The computer that you're seeing is right here, and Loren has it set up like a clamshell.
But it's reverse.
Yeah.
Anyway. Here we go. The pansies.
Whoa, my cup. I don't want to spill. That would be the live disaster. Dad spills his juice on Loren's computer. See, I'm just going to go ahead and start, Loren. They can see, but let them. I just wanted you guys to get a picture of what it actually looks like so you can see what Leo's doing. So they have a computer, and notice how she naturally is holding it with their hand like that. And it just kind of gives it a little bit of extra so it doesn't bounce, right? Because otherwise it's kind of bouncy if you're trying to draw without it. So I noticed that. And so that's not possible for everybody, right? You might have a setup that's like not that. That's more like
you can use your mouse.
I totally use my mouse. Like you can
draw,
if you have it, you can totally use your mouse to do it.
And drag your mouse like it's a...
So Leo's doing this with their mouse right now, not with the pen.
Yeah, here's the pen.
Yeah, with the mouse, it's not as natural feeling, but it's still the same, right? So they can't see. Can I ask for you to stop for a second? So if you click on the Windows Start button and then it's no like
that's not the Windows Start button.
I'm sorry. Can I just grab the mouse? Because I don't. I have an app, and it's here, but yeah, that's what I wanted. I don't know what you clicked on. And then it's here. Yeah, I'm sorry. And then it'll help us follow you. There you go, kiddo. So now I'm out of your way again. That little yellow thing, because it's hard to see right when Loren's sketching, and so I'm going to make her big now, and let's let that be much larger. And if you think that we're in the faces in the way, let me know. I'll turn it off or whatever to say. Turn off your face, Trevor. I'm watching I put it that way so that I can kind of still. I'm going to chat with you guys because Leo's going to do some digitizing. So, I love that you chose a pansy. They always kind of scare me because they're so. You gotta make them look interesting, right? You know that like it's a dynamic flower. I love the rose. Don't get me wrong. I've done a lot of roses myself personally, but I don't think I've done a lot of pansies. Yeah. So see, we can see a lot more clearly now what Leo's doing, and they've now picked up their pen, right? So I don't know if you can see the heads down, but they're, and they're, yeah, they've seen the pen. No. But I'm saying they're that's them working on it, so you can kind of get a picture of what it looks like. But yeah. So you're obviously going to do multiple colors right now? Is that right, Loren?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When I start, I'll kind of get a feel for the direction of the flower and decide how I want the shape to go.
Yeah. Did you just like undo?
I just undid it. I didn't like.
You chose over. You're like, I'm going to do something different. I get it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go like kind of more with the shape than against the shape. Kind of make the flower more naturally flowery shaped. See, now it's kind of like that diagonal.
And I notice you're at 300%. Do you change? Do you tend to leave it at 1%, or do you like to change that view, like zoom in and out kind of thing?
I really like to use 300 because when I get closer, I lose track of how dense the thread is, and my designs get very, very, very dense.
Right.
And so that's why I keep it at 300, because I can like still see everything close up, but I'm not so close that I'm then like going over the same line over and over again, unbeknownst to me.
Right. It's neat that you like took the picture off to see the stitching, and then chose that you wanted to fill in an area like that was just for that was interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'll just map out. Oop, where is it?
Donna said that was awesome. Thanks, Donna. Keep going.
What's going on?
It's fun to watch somebody work, isn't it? That was my idea with this whole Digi-Talk class, was not necessarily to make it a class. To me, a class is, well, you guys have probably taken my classes, so you know what my thoughts are, but this is, not necessarily any logical starting point or ending point. Just we're working on our work, and you guys could peek in a little bit, right? It's like, haven't you ever just wanted to be a fly on the wall somewhere? And so that's what I'm talking about.
I was just having issues making it go, not on the other side of the computer. It's like it was touching my hand.
Oh, I see.
Pen,
I see.
which is actually why I usually have my
I don't know if you guys
covering it.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because it is a touch screen, and so if your finger touches, it can kind of like make it sensitive. Yeah, right.
Maybe the shirt is what's sensitive though. So.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm just having some issues. I'll just balance my hand on my wrist instead of
the screen. You take your time. We're enjoying watching anyway, whatever it is. So that's fine. Yeah. Candy said I could watch this all day. You're awesome, Candy. And thank you for coming, by the way. We're not going all day, by the way, though. We will stop at the top of the hour. So thanks for checking in. Loren's going to spend the next half an hour and work on this pansy for us, and we're going to enjoy watching it. And so you're certainly welcome to ask me questions, and I can translate them to Loren. But it's kind of fun, and I'm looking to see the comments that come in, you guys. So I'm watching them, because no Nick today, and we miss him, but we understand. I like doing flowers with sketch style because there's no right or wrong, right? It's like a flower. Like, who's going to say, you didn't do it right, Loren? Like there may be a picture there, and it may even be a prize winning flower, who knows? But it's you still don't have to make it match, you know. And you know, that said, I could be wrong because and I know I talk a lot, but I remember doing a design once of a prize winning trophy animal, right? It was like what am I trying to say? An elk, you know, like, but somebody had hunted it, and it was like, you know, at the time it had the biggest rack or the most points or whatever it was. I think it was called the Hanson buck if you're a hunter. And now I'm going way back to when I did this as a, you know, for my living, digitizing full time. Uh, this could be in the 90s. I did anyway. When you're doing an animal, you might be like, well, as long as it looks like an elk, it's right. But no, this had to look like the Hanson buck because it was a specific elk, right? So this could be a specific pansy, Loren. So in which case, then the artistic license is a little bit less, right? If you're like, I'm really, because to me, there's one I'm trying to make a beautiful flower, and as soon as I turn your picture away, you guys don't see it anyways, so I'm not going to worry about that. But then there's the no, I'm trying to make this flower. It has to look exactly like that because, you know, for some, but usually flowers are not so much, right? So yeah. Candy says they have she has a portable touch screen, and it also has trouble with that, with my like problems with things touching it. I think is what she's saying. Yeah, my pen, not yeah. There she is. Not sure that works the best. You know, that's interesting you mentioned that, Candy, because do you mind if I just keep talking while you work here?
Absolutely.
You're making me think of things, guys. So you know that as my job as the software manager for R&K, I get involved in some of the more complicated support tickets. And I did, in fact, and I think also I've helped more than one person with the same exact issue. And that issue was when they were using their pen, they weren't pressing down hard enough, or they were touching the pen to the screen, but they were just very lightly touching it. And what you don't realize is the tip of the pen is actually like the click. And when you press a little bit of pressure, it puts it on. But if you release that pressure, it lets go. And if you're just lightly touching it, it's almost like, because you know how the Sketch-A-Stitch works. Like if you don't know when Loren lets go. So right now their pen is down, but there they let go and the stitches form. Well, if you're drawing and you're not really touching, and it's like drawing little parts of a line, like just ding, 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 like one line might break into like 10 little bits and you're sketching along, but so lightly. And what was happening was the software was still trying to draw the last piece, but you were already moving along. And it was actually causing Sketch-A-Stitch, like the whole Floriani software, to crash, shut right down. So I've seen that when you're trying to sketch with your pen, and if you, and so the tip number one was get ergonomically comfortable, but tip number two was pay attention to the pressure that you're putting when you draw. Like purposely put it, start your line, keep some pressure, and you can stop at any time. And that's why I don't know if you can see the little black dot. Loren has the little black dot turned on, but it's easy to find the little black dot so that you know where you left to start your next line. So if you want to rest your hand or rest your brain or zoom out or zoom in, and so now you can see like Loren's done the darkest color first. It's almost like giving the coloring book, right? The outline. Now you can color in colors, and you know, I don't know, will you resequence it? Like, or will that be your first color sewing?
It's almost like on this one, I want the color around the rest of the petals to be last, but I want the petals in the back to sew first, because when you layer artwork, you want the thing that's supposed to look as though it's in the back to be in the back.
Yeah.
Because if you have it be last, now those stitches are sitting higher than the other stitches. Now embroidery is a little bit different than, say, printmaking or drawing or painting and layering that way, because you're layering with like light, paint, and all this. But the stitches definitely do sit heavier. Like these purple ones would not show up if I put yellow over top. But if I put yellow underneath, it just goes. Yeah. I mean, it'll show up, but it'll be very subtle.
So you will resequence.
I will do something.
Right. Yeah. I like the idea. Like you don't have to, just because yellow might be the first color that embroiders, you don't actually have to sketch the yellow first. You can do whatever you want, right? And you know what, people often ask me, and they're like, how what they don't realize is for Loren to change the color, all they have to do is click on a color at the bottom, right? And they can click any time and start drawing a new color. But that said, if you go yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple, your embroidery design will go yellow, purple, yellow, purple, yellow, purple. And so you can control that later if you want to do some yellow, some purple, some yellow, some purple, some yellow, some purple, and then resequence everything. That's not wrong too. Knock yourself out, right? But it's more logical to kind of work your way through and say, okay, I'm doing, like, it looks like Leo's changed onto the violet now, and they're sort of filling in this violet flower with, another color. And so it's not wrong to do all of that color and then move on, and even if that color will be the third color in sequence, you can move it, the whole color easily. But if you do a piece of yellow and a piece of purple and a piece of yellow and a piece of purple, then it's a little more effort to put them back into a logical sewing sequence. And I think with Sketch-A-Stitch, like that is why that little black dot is there that you can see, because it lets Leo know where to pick up the line when they stop and not make a jump that's not necessary, and that's because you can totally jump, right? You don't have to connect all the lines. You can jump anytime you want to, but you'll be causing a thread trim, right? And that's, I think, so where a lot of artists in real life might draw like left to right, left to right, left to right, drawing like a little shading or a hatching, and they're picking up their pencil and putting it down. With the thread sketching, you really want to try and think of it as a continuous line of thread you're creating, and only start a new line if you need to. And that is, not a rule, but it sure does make them so better, and I think that's the thing. So Candy's loving it. She says that is so stunning. So I knew that you guys would like seeing Loren do their flowers. Loren has done a really beautiful set of a whole alphabet, you guys. This one's not going to be a free Font Friday. This one will be for members only. It's going to go into Embroidery Club Season 2. It'll be a A to Z, but she sketched, I don't know if you guys can see this here. You're going small screen for a second here. I'm not just going to show this. It's this one here. So Loren sketched every little flower, and they're all applique letters like that. And it's a font anyway. So that's kind of cool. So what Loren's doing right now is this is one of the designs that you're going to get next week. Loren already has finished a couple of designs for us. Do you want to show? Can you stop for a second here? Let me bring you back on. Where are we now? Yeah. Oh yeah. Fix your hair. There's your screen again. Yeah. Loren made up a couple of ones for us already. This is that one. And can you just go over the sewing? Like, so at the end of it, Loren added, just slow redraw it. Like, okay. just click on that so that we can kind of see it go. Click the forward. That's the backwards. There you go. And so it does the first color run stitch. The machine stops. We're going to put down a piece of fabric. And now it does that same run stitch again. When the machine stops, we trim around it, and now Loren sketches on top of it. And so that is optional. You don't have to fill in a color, but it's an applique with a sketch on top. So you filled in it's like that way your flowers just got like a pink undertone, and in this case, and let me, so you guys can kind of get the picture of how it sews. And this is, so, oh, where's the camera? It's a blue fabric on a pink fabric, right? So the applique, Loren appliqued blue. That way the sketching doesn't have pink behind it. It has blue behind it, so it stands out from the pink. Totally optional. You could leave those colors out and just do it straight up pink if you wanted to, right? So so that's a cool flower that you made, Leo. And and that's beautiful. So look at the artwork. So Loren doesn't only, you can work for photographs, you could work from drawings if somebody gave you drawings. This is one that we got from like a clip art website, and it looks like it's a, what is, put the picture back on and zoom in like close to the flowers so we can see. So see what Leo's sketching and how there's colors there that aren't sketched. Like it's not like literally sketched, but it's very, loosely sketched, right? Turn on the 3D so we can kind of get the sense that you've captured the imagination of that flower, So that is the magic of Sketch a Stitch. Tell them questions. I have a question. If you guys have questions for Leo, don't forget to ask them because you still have her here. But my question for you, and then you can get sketching again. Where are we here? I'm not as good at this as Nicholas is. How long did it take you to do this flower sketch? Typically. I mean, the pansy, how long do you estimate the pansy is going to take? If I ever shut up and let them talk.
I think simpler sketches, it's usually like an hour. Things that I'm not like doing lots of little parts of lots of different colors. There's a succulent plant frame that I made that took me multiple days, like not necessarily multiple.
We've never released that. Like that is like nobody's even seen it.
It's a treat. Nobody's seen it. It's a whole frame.
It's a
made with sketches.
It's a big design. Like how big did we make it? How many? It's a succulent frame.
So it's the little.
It fills the luminaire hoop. Like if you owned a luminaire, it's like the size of that. Yeah. If you had a small hoop, we'd have to break it up into pieces or something.
Yeah, you could break it.
We never released it, but Loren made it. Should they sketch the whole thing?
That one took a long time. This one would take probably an hour if I'm being finicky. This one probably took an hour under.
She says she's from Pittsburgh, and we look a little bit Steelers today. I won't tell you that I'm a Leafs fan.
What Steelers is this?
That's football.
Oh.
They're golden and black.
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow, Loren, get back to it.
Okay.
You got we're still about 20 minutes to go. So if you guys want to chat with us, go right ahead, but we're obviously having a good time all on our own. Connie said that was smart to put the fabric to the flower. Yeah, like applique is such a cool way to do embroidery. Yeah, so I'm going to put Loren big again so we can see that there. But I can still see the comments when I do it this way, you guys. So if you're chatting in there and you want to make a comment for Loren, go right ahead. But and by the way, if you're like watching later and we're no longer live and you make comments, we will see them, so go ahead and make them. It's always appreciated to get comments on your video, likes, whatever, follows, whatever people say, ring that bell, click the notify button or whatever it is. We're going live every Wednesday, if you don't know. And so tomorrow is a special class because it's members, the beginning of the workshop 2 members retreat. I don't know how many people are going to come. I haven't looked yet to see. I didn't give a specific email for it. I really needed the members to look on the website and get the links for it because I don't have a workshop 2 email list as part of the problem. I don't actually have workshop 4. I have an email list. Everybody that's doing workshop 4, I email those guys all the time with the latest class or the latest reminder or links to the latest class. And of course, our spiral graph challenge is next week. So I can email you about that. But what I'm saying is if you're doing workshop 2, if you're a member of workshop 2 and you don't know there's a members retreat starts tomorrow. And if you want to attend, you got to click on the link on my website that says the member page for workshop 2. Every workshop has a member page, which is only for people that have, paid to join that one. So Loren, this is turning out great. So it's like 2 colors are done kind of thing of this little Pansy. So Loren will stitch this out, and then it'll next week when you get your download for Digi-Talk 4, the next week, because that's kind of how it works. You guys get it, right? Whatever I work on this week, you get next week. So the video doesn't match the download. If you download today's video, you're getting last week's designs. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I hope
that's
so.
how-
So when you watch the video, you're seeing what we're working on that you'll get next week. We got to have time to finish these things. And so Loren's going to include her 3 flowers that she showed you guys for our download next week. Thank you so much. Everybody will be happy to get some flowers. And I think it's just interesting to see how you do it. If you don't know anything about Sketch-A-Stitch, it's an actual, it's an add-on to the regular Floriani software. So what I mean by that is Floriani main embroidery program is called FTCU. And if you own FTCU, you don't automatically own Sketch-A-Stitch. And I try to make this clear to everybody all the time. Like earlier when I was doing my 100-acre wood, that was the click, click, click method. You can do that with with FTCU. There's even a pen in FTCU that you can use to do freehand drawing. So you do not need Sketch-A-Stitch to do thread sketches. But what Sketch-A-Stitch does, if you look in the top right-hand corner of the workspace that Loren's working on, there's a blue widget. And it has all of the brushes. And where it's different is when you click, it makes embroidery. And when you let go, it stops. It's literally just click, drag, let go. You've made the embroidery. It's so simple, and it's also not automated. It's the opposite of the Floriani, where you've got all the automation and all the cool tools. And yes, you can go manual with Floriani, but nobody does because we've got all these cool, amazing tools. But with Sketch-A-Stitch, it really is about doing this, right? So anyway, and what I mean by doing this, I mean doing the actual tracing of the stitches. And it's meant for that. And it works perfectly with a touchscreen computer. That's just gorgeous, Loren, what you're doing. And I can see where later you'll bring the purple to the top and it'll pop, because it won't be covered up. Yeah, it'll be like a little pop. Yeah. Candy says, DJ and Debbie are going to be in Tulsa. Awesome. Am I going to join them? Well, only maybe by heart or whatever. But you can tell everybody in Tulsa that I miss them. And I will come anytime they invite me. But you are going to be in for a treat if you go see Debbie and DJ, because those are 2 absolutely wonderful human beings. And they're incredibly talented embroidery people, and they're both in my friend group. I've known Debbie and DJ and I work together all the time because he helps with the in the, what are we going to call the development team. There's more than just me at R&K that have ideas and contribute them. And so DJ is a big part of he was the person who was the software manager before I was. So he absolutely knows the program, and he's a master digitizer and a good friend of mine. So yeah, good luck with that. And so Candy, are you going? I'm sure you're going, right? She said she was going to go. She says, lovely. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I will indeed. Yeah, tell him I said hi when you're there. Debbie Homer Hoffines, who is with DJ, they're kind of a dynamic duo. They go out together. It makes the most beautiful things. Everything she makes is beautiful. Let's just leave it at that. If you like things that are very fancy and like eye-catching, Debbie's really a talented embroiderer and sewist in general. So they're both R&K people, Floriani people, and you're going to have fun, Candy. So good luck. In Tulsa, yeah, I've been to Tulsa since like before the pandemic. So I miss you guys. And all my people down there at the BSO Inn. So make sure you say hi to Mary and everybody down there. So yeah, you're doing great, Loren. Maybe they'll have us. Maybe Loren and Trevor will come as the dynamic duo, right? Sketching across America, Trevor and Loren style, right? I'm waiting for the electric camper van, right? That can I just live in it? Is that my retirement plan? You guys, can I just get they're going to invent that, right? The electric camper van that you can live in, but it needs to get to the point where you can just park it and the thing charges itself, right? With the solar. Then we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Chris said the link for me signing up says May 16th. Did I mess that up? Oh man, I'm famous I will check those things, Chris, and see if I've got my links. There are 3 classes and they are booked. And then I put the links there. So maybe I'll check that after class today. Thanks, Chris, for mentioning that. Because I haven't checked them, and you're the first to let me know if there is something up with it. I didn't know until now. So wow, you're just like going along here, Leo, with your cool little pansy, right? No, it's not a pansy. It's a viola.
It's a pansy.
No.
Yep.
It is the pansy. Oh, pansy. It's the pansy. Okay, it's a pansy.
I think a pansy and a viola are the same thing.
Oh, okay.
I think. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong, I'm sure.
Zoom out. Oh. I think those are violets or violas or something, aren't they? Here, you guys help us out here, and Lorraine and I are not the gardeners. So.
I think that they're called the same thing.
Oh, okay.
That's my opinion.
And you're smarter than me. You know how every generation's definitely smarter than the next. And
well, just from doing my research.
Okay.
Picking the flower.
I am not the flower person, right? So see, Donna says violets. She's with me. We got 2 votes for Violet. And that's why, because that's Grandma's name, Violet. How appropriate. Did you guys don't know that Grandma lived here, right, during the pandemic? So Loren's great grandma, my wife's grandmother, my grandma-in-law, she passed away. Oh my goodness, how long ago now? 2 years. Well, or yeah. A year and a half ago. But she lived here during the pandemic when, because she needed care and they closed the care homes, and we converted our kitchen into basically a hospital bed for about half a year. That was special times for our family. You got a lot of special moments, and it's so interesting watching you work, Lauren. I love the pop-up palette for picking colors, by the way. I'm glad that you use that. That's my favorite place to pick my colors from. Do you know that you can right-click and say add to palette? Like you can actually pick out 5 colors and right click and just add them to the palette so that they're ready to go. Yeah, you can do that. So like the idea is that the second bar is the colors in your design, and you can add colors to it even if you haven't used them yet. And that way you have like a shorter palette to pick from, and you can close your pop-up palette and have all the shades that you chose. Yeah, this is fun, you guys.
I have something that somebody with a stylus might experience if your stylus has a mouse button on it.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. There's a button on there.
Not click it. Very careful. And if you click it,
good point.
Even if you're a line, this or that, you go back and you redo that line, because we were having an issue where the design would just decide to resew part of a segment 3-4 times. We
would make a copy, and we found it was the button that that we were holding the button,
and it took forever to figure it out. It wasn't like the first time it happened, it was like, oh, you don't click the button. It was like,
well, the first time you're like, why is this my design? Part of my design look thicker than the rest, and you were like, what's up with that?
We watched it sew,
and then you're like, what? It sewed that part over again.
And then I would just edit the design. I would just go through it and edit it, and I had no idea. And then one day I saw it happen.
Yeah,
and I was like,
oh, but it was the button. You're right, and that is something.
Oh my god, the button! So if you have a button, don't click it. Don't rest your finger on it.
Pay attention to where it is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because when I said I did the
Candy
support,
learned it the hard way.
Candy learned that the hard way too. See, that was exactly it. When I did the web support for the person that was doing it, they bought the pen, but they weren't sure they were going to like it, and so they didn't take the plastic wrapping off of it, and so the button was pushed by the plastic wrapping. They never took the casing off the side of it, because they wanted to be able to return it if they didn't like it. And so they didn't even know that there was a button that they were accidentally touching when they were doing it. So that's kind of fun. So thanks. Donna said it's good to know, because she has buttons too. Yeah. Pay attention to your buttons. So It's fun having Leo here to do the work, and I can just kind of focus in on chatting with the people. And Nicholas does a good job too, but sometimes afterwards I wish he would have told me more. He's kind of shy, and I just got to really break him into it more, but he's getting better. Yeah, he's definitely doing good. So fun, Loren. So yeah, we're getting it's about 10 minutes to the top of the hour, so I bet you'll be pretty close to done this one, like actually live.
I could have called it finished, but I decided there was another tone of purple in there that I wanted to
I got it.
achieve. If I wasn't live, I might have deleted and redone a bunch of stuff already, but I just wanted to go through it, show you guys start to finish instead of fussing about. I'll fuss about later.
Well, you can fuss later, but I mean, from what we can all see, it already looks awesome. You know, like that's the thing of it. Isn't it funny? And I'll tell you a thing about artists, because we're all in some way artists, I think, that are doing this. Don't we all just want to tell everybody about our things that went wrong? Like, we have no idea what Leo's talking about, but you know what I mean? You go and you see an art show, and then the first thing the artist says is, well, there's this thing that I don't like, and there's this thing. And you're just, all you want to say is that it looks amazing. You know, you keep that to yourself is my point here. My point is, nobody knows.
When you're in art school, there are classes called critiques.
Oh.
So you all show your artwork.
I get it.
And you talk about your artwork to your peers, and then your peers talk about your artwork. And the silliest thing is when somebody was like, oh, I did this all last night. And I'm like, don't tell anybody that. Nobody can tell until you're like, yeah, I procrastinated all month long before a crit. I didn't do anything. I did it all last night. I'm
the
like,
cred. Yeah, just let them think you're amazing. You don't
or
have
if it's not amazing, just let somebody give a critique. Like, maybe it looks like you could have rendered this more better. And then you're like, yeah, I could have. And then rendering is like making more detail. So it was very unrendered when it was just the purple.
When you finalize the sketch, you don't use underlay, do you?
No.
Not typically. I mean, underlay is certainly an important part of embroidery, but typically with these thread sketches, I think that underlay kind of gets surpassed. If it was going to show, it wouldn't be okay, right? You can't just do a perpendicular underlay to try and support these stitches, because we're using an open style that I think would really make it show through. And so typically you just do the sketch and it's just raw, sewn right on top like that. And, you know, if you were trying to thread sketch letters, and so you were trying to manually make some kind of satin stitch, then I guess you could sketch your underlay and sketch your stitches, and that would be possible. Yeah, you could, you know, but if your kind of point is to do what Loren's doing, I think you're fine to do that. So yeah, Joyce has dropped in from Western New York. How's it going in the Western New York today? I'll tell you guys about Saskatoon. It's a little bit chilly out there, but I'm glad we're not Calgary, you guys, because they had like snow. I saw the pictures on Facebook this morning. They had snow in Calgary, so I don't want it coming our way.
I was going to say about the underlay question is, if you're doing a thread sketch like this design that I'm doing, you don't need underlay. And if you've done so many stitches you need underlay, you're missing the point of the thread sketch. It's just not.
Yeah, but I think underlay sometimes is used to stop it from sinking into fabric.
Yeah,
you know, so and if that was the issue, like if you wanted to take Loren's thread sketch and you wanted to put it onto a terry towel, you're going to have an issue. So, but I'll show you what you can do, Loren, is just do select all. Just like, let go of your pen, pick up your mouse, and take and it says select all right there at the top of the, so you just click on that. No, right below it says all items. Sorry, so all items.
Oh,
yeah, right there. That's like select all. You can also do Control A, but Leo doesn't have her keyboard, is why. So they didn't know that. Okay, so you select all items, and then up at the top, to the right, now to the left. Slow down, go slower. In the yellow. You have your. Okay, hold on.
Do you want me to change the workspace?
I was just going to say, Leo's set up their workspace so that they have less tools available. So if you go back to so the one I want is like a postage stamp up at the top right. Yeah, that one. Click on that. That's called nap control. And then if you said, what's the distance? Because I can't read that little number.
1.0. 0.10.
0.10 of an inch, right? So that's a nice small amount. So say okay. And what it did was it created a mesh background. And what I would do, so click off on your workspace, click anywhere empty, like on the empty workspace there. So it made a mesh behind Leo's flower. And that 0.1 amount, like this is for Candy's question, right? That 0.1 amount could be smaller, or it could be smaller. If you don't want it to show, you could make it be 0 and it would just put the mesh under the flower. And then the idea is you sew that tone on tone. So if you're putting this flower on a white towel, you use a white thread.
That's awesome.
And now Leo's thread sketch doesn't have underlay that shows, but it elevates the embroidery from sinking in. If you're doing it on a quilt, then I don't think you need it, right? It's not sinking into quilting cotton.
Mm-hmm.
It's sinking into a towel. So I think that's what Candy is saying is,
Good
when
one,
you
Candy.
finalize
Well,
your sketch, don't you use underlay? And the answer is we don't use underlay unless we need it. If you need it, you can add it, right? So there. Okay, you can hit undo because you probably don't want that. So just hit undo. There you go. That's called nap control. And it works with text too. Like I use that a lot for I think last week I was wearing my white hoodie with the sunset stitches on the front, and it's all polar fleece. And I use the nap control to stop my sunset stitches from sinking into the polar fleece. I did it white on white. Yeah. Anyway, your flower's turning out really awesome, Loren, and it's wonderful to see you make it. And so we're kind of winding down to the top of the hour here. If you guys have any, comments for Loren, you're welcome to put them in there now. Otherwise, I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed today's Digi-Talk presentation.
Digi-Talk.
Of course, my name is Trevor Conquergood, and this is my kid, Leo Conquergood here. And you're at Sunset Stitches, which is in the home of our house here in sunny Saskatoon. Leo was using my touchscreen laptop to do thread sketches today, and did a cool, we think it's a violet, Loren. I don't think that's a pansy.
They're the same thing. When you Google pansy, this picture shows up.
I don't know. I think you're wrong, but
I planted pansies and this grew.
Donna says it's 85 degrees in Virginia, but and Candy says it was great and have a blessed day.
Viola debate.
Thank you, Candy. I hope you have a blessed day too. Chris enjoyed the talk, so thank you for coming. And Chris, we'll get you on here. And all y'all would like to. I'm planning on having a regular guest. So it was Leo this week, but the idea is I'll probably do more digitizing, get my guest to chat with me while I do it.
You have to promise not to talk the whole time then, Dad.
True. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. Be quiet. No, that's mean.
No, it's not mean. I hear you loud and clear. That's right. Yeah. Denise said, thanks for your time and have a great day. So I appreciate you too, Denise. Thank you so much.
Denise also said it was a pansy.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Denise.
Denise is on your day. Where did Denise say that?
Right there.
Where?
Right there. Oh, there.
Beautiful pansy. She does agree with you. Okay, so.
Anyway.
Thanks, Connie. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. So, question: did the stylus come? Yeah, mine. Okay. The one that Leo was using came with the laptop. It's an Acer laptop, and it actually had a built-in one. But that
built
said,
right into the tablet.
Yeah, it has like its own little place. It just pulls right out. That said, I bought a Wacom one for my other touch. I had a laptop that didn't come with one, and I bought one. I think it was $40 or something like that for like a proper pen that would draw pretty well.
It was a touch screen, but it didn't have a pen.
It was a touch screen. It didn't come with a pen. I normally use your finger, but the trouble with the finger is it's kind of fat, right? When you're trying to do embroidery, it's like, well, where is it taking? The left side of my finger or the right side or the middle?
Exactly.
It's too not accurate enough. So yeah. anyways, thanks so much, everybody. It was great to see you guys today. Until next week, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And if you're a member of FTC Workshop 2, see you tomorrow, or catch the download if you can't come tomorrow. And if you're a member of Workshop 4, then we got our big spirograph challenge coming up next week. So yeah, get me your designs by Sunday. Monday is the latest kind of thing. Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah.
Oh, the
there's
glove
a
that
question.
comes with the touch screen.
Now the questions are coming in.
Yes.
You threatened to leave. Yes, Leo, we bought a touchscreen display and it had a glove that was like just this finger, wasn't it? It's like a glove that has a thumb and a finger or something.
It's just this, and then the glove is open on your fingers and it just goes around this part. And we misplaced it, so I just use my sleeve. If I don't have little finger holes, I'll just hold the sleeve with my other fingers. I'm pretty dexterous, so.
Interesting.
The glove is very useful, though.
I've never used a glove, just so you guys all know. I've never used a glove.
It's always hovering.
But and I think there is a setting to tell it to only take the pen and not your touch. I'm not sure how to set it, but I think that is an option. Yeah. So Suzanne says, see you at the retreat. Thank you, Suzanne. We will see you tomorrow. And thank you, everybody, for coming today. And hope you had a great day. And bye for now.
Bye for now.